Hi everyone, welcome to Building Better Websites Together to Grow Your Small Biz. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you're joining me live, please let me know what the weather's like in the chat. Say hi. There's other small business owners here, so introduce yourself and what you do. We have a lot to cover today, so we will jump right into it. This is all about building better websites together to grow your small biz. I'm Ray Katz. I'm the founder of Ray Katz Creative Solutions. I have been working on websites for over 10 years, and I'm excited to share some of the things I've learned over the years with you. Please go ahead and like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content and want to see more of it. We'll be hosting more events and tutorials in the future as well. Here's what we'll cover today. I'll give a quick intro. Who am I and why am I talking to you about websites? We'll get into, is a website even important for your small business? I'll talk about lots of things, including how to make your homepage intriguing for potential customers, finding your own unique style even if you're not a designer, and we'll talk about website platforms and cost, which is a big deal for small businesses, so we'll make sure to get into that. I'll give a quick sales pitch for my own web tech and design services, and we'll have time for a Q&A and answering any questions you might have throughout the presentation. Feel free to let me know in the chat if you'd like me to cover anything in particular, or if you have particular questions about your small business, and I'd be happy to talk about that. I just want to check real quick that we are live, I believe. Hi, I'm Ray Katz. I build websites. I've been working on websites for over 10 years now. I have also earned an undergrad degree in physics from MIT. I've worked as an engineering manager, software developer, freelance journalist, content creator, and now I provide marketing and business strategy, websites, graphic design, and more for small businesses. If you'd like to check out my work, you can at raykatz.com/portfolio. Let's talk about why are websites so hard. It can often be really stressful to even think about starting your website project. It may be difficult to figure out what you want to put on your website. This can be a really common struggle with small business owners. And this is because it's hard for everyone to talk about themselves and their own work. Whether you're writing a bio or an about page or anything, a grant proposal, it's really hard to sell yourself and your work. So I just want to acknowledge that that's a really hard thing, but it's also really crucial and important for a great website. And we'll get into exactly what you should include on your website to be compelling to your potential customers. There's a number of other reasons why creating a website is hard as well. There's a lot of different tech options, and they can be really confusing, especially if you've never done anything like this before. It can be hard to know what thing to choose since there's just so many options out there, and they're changing constantly. We'll address this in the later part of the presentation, where we'll talk about the most popular web platforms, so you know the landscape in which you're choosing. And finally, for a lot of freelancers and creatives, you don't get paid for your own time creating a website. As a web developer, I get paid for my time when I build a website for you, but if you're a service provider or you sell products, you may not get paid directly for your time. So it may feel like you're making an investment in the future of your business, but you don't get a paycheck right now. And that can be really challenging to figure out how it fits into your schedule. And we'll talk about exactly how much time it might take to put into making your own website or hiring someone else to do it. So you'll have a better idea of how that might fit into your existing workload. I also want to talk about what if you don't create a website? You know, it's hard, it could be expensive, it's stressful, so maybe you just decide, no, this is not for me. I'm going to do my website next year or whatever it is. And that can be fine for some folks. I just want to talk through some of the common things that come up. What if someone asks you at a networking event, do you have a website? What do you tell them? Maybe a prospect Googles you after a friend mentions and recommends your business, but they can't find you. You might have lost a potential customer that way. This one is really common for businesses. Your website could be a Facebook page, but you're worried that Meta could ban your account. And this happens, and it's kind of a scary consequence, given that a lot of businesses rely on a Facebook page to post their phone number and other information so that their customers can contact them. By putting the info on your own website instead, you are in control, and you don't have to worry about some company just arbitrarily taking your account down. And this next one is more of a fear. It's not a reality. You might feel like less of a real business because you don't have an online presence. And I don't think this is true, actually. I think tons and tons of real, local, in-person businesses don't have a website, and that's fine. But if this is something that's holding you back in your business, if you're feeling like you'd really like to have an online presence, that can be a really good reason to shift towards a website. All right, we've talked about. Next, we are going to fix that. Setting up a simple website is probably not as hard as you think. Before we get into that, if any of those stresses or difficulties for creating a website resonated with you, let me know what those are in the chat or in the comments. I'd love to hear what this is like for you. There can be a lot of reasons why building a website is stressful, and I'd really like to know what makes it challenging for you. I usually have a little window where I can see the chats, and I do not see it right now. So I'm going to, interesting. There it is. Sorry folks, just pulling up the chat. I'll be back with you in just a minute. Please do let me know in the chat if you have any questions or you want me to cover anything in particular. Here we go. The first thing we're going to cover is, what would you like someone to learn about you in the first 10 seconds they look at your website? This is crucial, folks. This is the first impression that you make on your potential customer. And so because someone who's never met you before might be looking at your website, you have this wonderful opportunity to introduce yourself and the great work that you do to them. You might consider some of these things very important to share with your potential customer. For example, your business name, what you do, what you can do for them, an intriguing vibe. Intriguing vibe is actually really important. This encourages the potential customer to want to know more about you. This is really valuable because that may make them want to take the next step, which is, that's what this call to action is about. A call to action is a technical term for anything that someone might do to sign up for your newsletter or purchase a product or get a free download or something to engage with you further. That can be one of the goals of your homepage if you want. We're going to talk about a few homepage pitfalls next. Now, these are really common issues that I see a lot with websites. It's not necessarily something to feel bad about. It's really common, and we can just make some small tweaks and make them better. So let's diagnose some common issues with small business homepages together. The first one, don't info dump on your homepage. Now, we all love a good info dump, right? A friend gets together with us and, just talks for like 10 minutes about their favorite, movie or birds or rocks or whatever. And it can be really fascinating to hear what people are thinking about. This is really good for friends, but it's less good for selling potential customers. So on your homepage, you don't want to overdo it and info dump your entire story on your prospective customer. Leave them a little bit intrigued so they want to find out more. You can have those learn more links. Maybe it links to your about page, which is an excellent place to tell your entire life story if you would like. Just allow them to opt in to hearing more about you. Give them the summary, just enough a hook to pique their interest, and then they can find out more information on the other pages of your site. On the other hand, don't be too cool on your homepage. I see this a lot actually, and it's really well motivated. People want like a really cool, flashy, unique homepage. But sometimes it's missing the crucial information that people need to know about your business. It's the opposite of the info dump. It doesn't share enough information for people to even know what you do at all. Like the pineapple with sunglasses, it's very cool, it's very funny, but it doesn't tell you about what the business is about, I would recommend don't just put your name and nothing else on the homepage. Don't make them click into the About page or other pages just to get a little information about what you do. Share enough of your story on the homepage to draw someone in. And this is a balance between not too much and not too little. People don't go to a website to see something cool. They go to your website for info about how you can help them. Next, we're going to talk about finding your style. Now, even if you're not a designer, and most of us aren't, everyone has a style, whether you think you do or not. And we just need to figure out how to bring that out of you, that style that you already have and already admire. Just need to do a little soul searching and a little inspiration to figure out what might be something you like on your website. You can think about what your home office or your store looks like if you have a brick and mortar business, or what you would like it to look like. Maybe you don't have unlimited funds now, but if you did, what would your home office look like? Would you want houseplants streaming down from the ceiling everywhere? Would you want a ton of monitors surrounding you? What's the vibe of your business in terms of where you work? You can also think about what your product looks like. Does your product have packaging or something else that has a particular look to it? That could be your business style. Here's some more ideas for how to find your style. Think about what kind of artwork or aesthetic are you drawn to? What textures and patterns do you find pleasing? And what symbols and inspiration are important to you? There may be symbols from your community or your culture that you find important to share in your business as well. Here's on the slide, there's a bunch of examples of different kinds of style, from a real photo of people. This could be your customers, this could be your community, or it could be stock photos. There's sort of some high-tech wavy lines. That's sort of a futuristic look. These, cherry blossoms, very beautiful and also meaningful to some folks. I like this one because it's a combination of natural tree with some circuit designs that's kind of mixing nature and technology. There's all different kinds of textures and patterns you could use. This is sort of a watercolor texture. There's fabric textures. You could consider having a cute animal mascot if you think that's something that your customers would like. It's really up to you. And you might be thinking like, well, are some of these things that I like professional enough for my website? And I would say all of these could be incorporated into a very professional website. A lot of being professional has to do with the content, and people are willing, they like fun websites sometimes. Maybe not if your business has a very serious topic, but I would encourage you to lean into things that you find really beautiful or really nice, because chances are your customers will also see that as beautiful and nice. What if you're really not sure what your style is as a small business owner? That's okay. Try thinking about what your customers might like. What style do they have? Think about a specific person who buys from you if you're still unsure. Or maybe if you don't have anyone who buys from you yet, a person who's thinking about buying from you yet. What kind of clothes do they wear? What kind of websites do they visit? You can check out your competitors' websites for some inspiration. It's not good to copy exactly, but designers have been taking inspiration from other sites for a long time. So you don't have to come up with it from scratch. Next, we're going to talk about choosing colors for your site. Colors are really important because they convey the tone or the emotion of your site. They can, create a warm, welcoming community feel, really futuristic sci-fi tech kind of feel, fun, colorful, playful feel. These are all things that can be expressed just by colors without any other images, although you can bring in images that complement the colors that you choose as well. One idea is to start with one color that you love and then find other colors that coordinate and contrast with it. For example, I chose this purplish color first and then picked these other colors that contrasted with it. I wanted to have more than one color, so I chose the green next. And I chose these other colors that are neutrals so that I would have a wide range from light to dark. And when I'm laying out a website, I need to have readable text on a background. That means that either the background should be very light and the text be very dark, or the opposite. The background could be dark and the text could be light. That makes the text readable. And I would recommend including at least one neutral. This is an important part of creating a professional looking color scheme. The neutrals actually allow you to have those pops of color and not be overwhelming with too much color. But maybe you're saying, right, I want all the colors. And, I sympathize. Check out this shirt I'm wearing. It's pretty bold, I would say. And this is like the example of a personal style, right? But you can see even on this shirt, there's a lot of neutral color here. there's a lot of colors, kind of like sea creatures and stuff, seaweeds, and then there's this neutral, flat background. That's what makes it not perhaps completely overwhelming. I like finding inspiration in nature, especially if you're looking to include a lot of different colors in your design. Adding a lot of different colors to your color scheme can be fun, inviting, playful, full of childlike wonder. This can be great for businesses that are education focused, anyone who works with kids, or anyone who teaches. This is often a good look. If you sell anything that's fun or that sparks joy, having a lot of colors can be a great way to draw people in and give them a sense of your joyful business. So I think these are some great examples of how to find color schemes in nature. We can start with this calico cat that has the orange, black, white, and even the light green in the eyes. I think that would make a really gorgeous color combination. Parrots and birds in general have lots of different great colors. We've got some greens, some reds, lime green, the little neutral colors of the feet. These flowers have a lot of different colors going on here, but they all look pretty nice together. There's some dark magenta, some pink, white, yellow, lots of different things going on here, but you can see that it doesn't look too overwhelming in a photo. So that's usually a good sign. If you think about, well, I just want a little pop of color in my design. Like, for example, I wouldn't necessarily make the whole page this bright yellow-orange color on this parrot, but it would be beautiful to have, a sort of neutral, creamy white page with some pops of color like this, and then the text all in black, maybe. That could look really nice. We want to do a little bit of moderation, but maybe not make the whole page this bright and colorful, for example. But you could include this photo on the page as part of your design, and then have the background be a more neutral color. You could also include a lot of bright colors. You could have your background be like a blue like this and have some pink and orange accents, because you can see that these photos look very pleasing. So if you're into doing a lot of colors, find a photo of something in nature for inspiration. Speaking of photos, a lot of small business owners wonder what photos should they use. Well, you can use your own photos if you have great photos. They don't even have to be professional. We can take really good quality photos on our smartphones these days, and quite often that's fine. If you don't have the images you need, these are some stock photo sites that offer free for commercial use photos. This is very important because your website is commercial use if it's your business website. So I get a lot of my photos on Pexels or Unsplash. These are sites that should be really easy to find if you type that into Google. And it's basically like a search engine for photos. You type in what you would like, and it shows you a selection of photos that you're allowed to use. A lot of models in stock photos are white, skinny, able-bodied, straight, cis people. Okay? And we all know that that's not what our whole community looks like. So you may need to add search keywords to your search on these sites to diversify your results. And some of the words that you could add to your search include plus size model, diverse, wheelchair, LGBT. And this may feel kind of awkward to do that because you feel like you're objectifying these people by typing in these kind of somewhat insensitive keywords, perhaps, although it really shouldn't be anything to be ashamed of to have any of these characteristics. But more importantly, on these sites, people tag the photos with these types of keywords. So if they take a photo where the model is in a wheelchair and, at a cafe and chatting with a colleague, that could be a good photo for your business website. But it's probably going to get tagged with wheelchair because that's one of the features of the photo, if that makes sense. The next stock photo site on this list, nappy.co, is actually really cool because, I see someone can't hear me. Is there anyone else who can hear me on the stream? Looks like my mic is on. Can you try turning the sound up? Got my mic going. All right. Hopefully the sound comes back for folks. All right. I was just talking about nappy.co, which is a stock photo website which features Black and brown models. And why this site is really wonderful is because it centers people of color and Black people without you needing to search specially for these photos. So that can be a really nice way to add some photos of your community to your website. You can also look in Canva Pro for stock photos if you use Canva like I do for everything. And so it's really important, I think, to include photos of a wide variety of people because your customers need to see themselves in what you're showing on your website. If you just pick very limited photos from a certain demographic, other people are not going to see themselves as your potential customers. So this is actually about customers and money. All right, this is really important for small business owners to find this search and discoverability. You want people to be able to find your business when they search for you in Google. So search engine optimization is its own field, which gets really deep. But the key feature of search engine optimization is just figuring out how people might search for you and putting those phrases on your website. And the most basic exercise you can do for SEO is think about how would you search Google for your own business and actually go type it in. Make a note of whatever you type into the search bar and then use phrases like that on your website. For example, if I wanted to search for my own services, maybe I'd think about typing affordable website for small business. Other search terms could include, for example, LGBTQ friendly martial arts near me. I also do martial arts. This is something that I would actually search for. We could also consider help with marketing, New York City. Ray Katz web design. That could be someone who met me and knows that I do web design and wants to find me online. So it can actually be really important to put your name on your business website. This may sound obvious, but a lot of people don't have their name on their business website. So they're a little bit harder to find if you're known for your work. If you've never built a website before, it may be hard to know whether something is easy or whether it's hard to do in terms of a website. Some things that are easier include similar vibes are easier than pixel perfect. This is if you have an example website that you like, or you want to make your website look exactly like something that you put together in Canva or in Photoshop. Making it look exactly like it is actually a lot harder than just making it look similar. I encourage you to lean into the limitations of whatever website platform you use and set your expectations for it'll look similar. It'll look good. It just won't look exactly pixel perfect like the thing that you had envisioned. It's generally easier to add text, photos, and links to a website than to make something interactive. It's hard to make things like animations, interactive stuff, any website platform is going to let you easily add text, photos, links, buttons, things like that. That's standard. If you're looking to create a website really on a budget, I would encourage you not to create something really interactive and complicated, because that's almost always going to be custom work, which is expensive. It is easier to produce useful resources and harder to guarantee viral results. Going viral is just kind of random. It's hard to predict what is going to go viral. So, as a small business owner or as a service provider, I find that it's more useful to keep posting a steady stream of useful resources, and one of them may go viral at some point. You just can't really expect that or predict for it. Next, we're going to talk about website platforms and cost. I'm going to talk about the 3 website platforms that I use most often and recommend to my clients. And those are Google Sites, Squarespace, and WordPress. Google Sites is great because it is free. This can be really important for small business owners who want a website for as little money as possible. There's a couple of different platforms that offer free websites. One of the other main ones is Carrd with 2 R's. It is also pretty reasonable for creating websites. It's limited to single pages, and you can't connect Google Analytics easily, but it's completely reasonable. I like recommending Google Sites because it is free. It does allow you to do multiple pages. You can add embedded content, like if you have a calendar scheduling or a sign-up form, you can add that into your Google site. And you can connect a custom domain name and analytics for free. The domain name is something like yourname.com, and that's something that you buy separately. You would have to do this and pay for it for any website plan. So it doesn't, and domain names are somewhere between $10 and $20 a year. Less expensive than most web hosting. Google Sites is less good for blog posts. It's actually very hard to use. For example, if you want to put a blog post on your Google site, you might paste in your text, and then you want to insert an image somewhere in your text, and you can't really do that. That's how limited it is. It's much better for setting up web pages with sections with a little text and an image, and has limited layout. So if this sounds like it might work for you, it could be a great free option to explore to begin with. However, next we have Squarespace. Now, Squarespace is a really popular website platform. I've built many websites on Squarespace, and I find that it's really good for small businesses. It's pretty straightforward to edit if you have to. You can go in there and just change the text. It has a straightforward drag and drop interface, and it also has templates. Everything snaps to a grid system, so you can't make it pixel perfect. It has a particular look, usually, unless the template has really changed that, but it works well to have a professional and inviting appearance. It's around $16 a month as of this month, and I find that this works really well for people who want a reliable and attractive website. I'm a Squarespace Circle member and can get you set up with some perks if you choose to do a Squarespace website with me. I've also done a lot of websites in WordPress. WordPress is perhaps the most well-known website platform. There are a lot of sites out there that are on WordPress. It needs a lot of initial configuration to look okay. Squarespace can be a lot more out of the box to start out with. I feel like Squarespace requires a little less configuration to put everything together. But with WordPress, you often start with a theme. So it's very configurable. It's great for blogging. It's the original blogging software. Has a lot of search optimization features, for example. Squarespace is also great for blogging. They have features, and they also have the ability to set SEO features. WordPress varies in price because it's not just one web hosting platform. You can get WordPress hosted on by a lot of different companies. Cloudways hosting is the least expensive one I found, starting at around $11 a month. I also like WP Engine as a WordPress host. It's more expensive, but it has more features that make launching and maintaining a site a lot easier. So we got to talk about how much does web development cost? The big question, right? There are a lot of options out there for web development, so I would encourage you to explore them. And if my pricing isn't right for you, there are a lot of other options out there, from doing it yourself to getting templates and themes to help you put your website together. I'm going to be releasing a Squarespace template soon if you're looking for a slightly less custom but really reliable and beautiful site template. So keep an eye out for that. Here's some ideas of the cost. If you do it yourself, I would expect to put in at minimum 20 hours to learn how to do it and for the configuration. It could be much more, there's a lot of resources out there to learn how to make a website, but there's a reason it's a profession. It takes a little while to become, to be able to put together a website. And that's one of the advantages that I offer, is that I'm familiar with it. I don't have to learn it. I can just fix some alignment issues and stuff real quick. But, where it would take a beginner a lot longer to figure out how to fix some of those issues. So I estimate between 10 to 20 hours of my time to design, build, set up, and launch a typical website for a service provider, a small business. This can be something like a website that has a home, about, services, contact form. Doesn't have integrations. It doesn't have e-commerce. There's no online store, for example. At $60 USD per hour, that's approximately $600 to $1.2K. Many service providers charge more than this, actually, maybe $100 to $200 an hour. A lot of people charge a flat fee, perhaps between $1,000 and $5,000, and it goes up from there. An agency might charge you $10K. And for a business, having the full-featured agency with the account manager and, marketing team and everything, web developers, designers, creating just the features they need, this is absolutely worth it, because a website brings in a lot of business, whether you're a small business or whether you're a large business. So think about these costs as investment in getting your customers to know about you, which is, and buy things from you. All right, so if you're thinking about building or improving your website, what are your next steps? I would suggest starting by writing a one-sentence description of your business to put on your homepage. This can be really useful whether you have an existing website or whether you're building a whole new website from scratch. Remember how we talked about what is your potential customer going to learn about you in the first 10 seconds they look at the website? Well, this sentence encapsulates that. Next, gather existing content and materials which you can copy onto your website. Now, this can be things like a flyer or marketing materials that you might already have, materials from classes if you do that. You don't have to share your entire business IP on your website. In fact, I would not recommend that. But you may have some quick descriptions, some materials, some images, some words that you want to share with your client base already, and you don't need to spend additional time developing those. You can create a mood board or a collection of design examples that you like. Whether or not you do it yourself or work with a designer, this is a really good idea, because this will give your designer a good idea of what types of designs you like, so they can design something for you that works well. And then once you've added all your nice design examples, be willing to abandon your nice design examples in favor of what's easier on your selected website platform. So if you love the look of something, take inspiration from that, but then if it's impossible to set up exactly on your website platform, that's okay. You're still going to have a great looking website that's inspired by, but not exactly like your design example. And that's actually a good thing. It's something unique to you. Finally, this all takes a lot of time. I would recommend, especially if you're doing it yourself, block out some time on your calendar to put your content and images onto your new website. And this will take some time. It's an investment in your business, but I believe it's worth it. You might be thinking, this is a lot to do on my own. Well, that's very relatable. If you need help, I am happy to help you. I've been working on small business websites for a long time, including my own and many of my clients. And I found that a lot of my clients are really good at doing technical things themselves. And that's great. I honestly love that. I can still offer a collaboration with more technical clients. I listen to what you need, and then I can implement it efficiently and cleanly. Because I have a lot of experience putting together websites, I can put it together quickly for you so you don't have to stress about the details. On the other hand, if you're thinking, I do not want to learn how to make a website, it's all good. I can build a site for you so that you never have to touch the technical side of it. I will show you how to make your own edits to the text and images, for example, so that you feel confident maintaining your own site after it's built. But a lot of my clients as well, they don't want to deal with the technical side of it. It stresses them out, and that's very understandable. I can do that for you. Here's some of what my clients are saying. Natalie says, amazing. I truly love working with Ray. They are such a wonderful, responsive partner for web development. Thank you, Natalie. That means a lot to me. Linda says, even before promoting the site, we already have 2 consultations scheduled via the website and 1 package purchased. Amazing design skills. Thank you, Linda. And Stephanie says, thanks for being reliable and great, Ray. I wasn't stressed about my website at all. Happy to help, Stephanie. If you're interested in having me help with your website, send me a note at hello@raykatz.com, or you can book your no-cost 30-minute consultation with me at raykatz.com/discovery-call. If you want to work with me this year, now is a great time to book a call. I am filling up my schedule, and I would love to talk to you to see how you can fit in. And together, we can get your website up and running with less stress. That's always the goal. Thanks so much for sticking with me through this presentation. We've covered a lot of material about websites, whether you want to update your existing website or whether you want to create an entirely new website from scratch with help or by yourself. If you have any questions at all, drop them in the chat, or if you're watching this afterwards, leave a comment and let me know what you think, what you're working on. I'd love to hear from you. Please remember to like and subscribe. You can send me an email at hello@raykatz.com. Be happy to hear about your business needs and your creative projects. We've talked a lot about why you need a website and design basics, what you want on your homepage, the colors, the textures, the stock photos, website platforms, choosing between WordPress, Squarespace, Google Sites if you want a free option. And then finally talking a bit about what does it take to hire someone to put together your business website for you so you have a great looking website with less stress and less time that you have to put into it and stress about it. Let me know in the chat if you have any questions, and if there's no questions, we'll wrap up a little early. I really appreciate you joining me. Please like and subscribe. We're going to do more great events like this in the future. And thanks so much, and see you next time.